Today, as you listen to me, something inside you begins to shift quietly, almost invisibly, yet in a deeply transformative way. You may not have noticed it yet, but there is a single point in your daily routine that determines, more than anything else, whether you move forward or stay exactly where you are. Most people spend years, sometimes an entire lifetime, ignoring this tiny detail that once adjusted changes absolutely everything. That's why what you're about to hear right now isn't just another piece of advice. It's not motivational theory. It's not a generic speech about how you should live. It's a habit, one single habit, a 10-minute ritual capable of rewiring your mind for success, realigning your energy, and shifting the direction of your day and ultimately, your entire life. And I want you to stay with me until the end, because once this clicks for you, once it locks into place inside your mind, you will never be able to live the same way again. Start by breathing a little deeper as you listen, not to relax, but to create space inside yourself for what's coming. Because from this moment on, maybe for the first time in a long time, you're going to observe yourself clearly. You'll see your mornings, your choices, your reactions, your automatic behaviors, and you'll realize that what holds you back isn't a lack of ability. It's not lack of opportunity. It's not bad luck. It's not fate. It's not the world working against you. It's your mind conditioned by years of repetition pulling you toward the same path every single day, without you even noticing. The issue isn't changing the world. The issue's changing the very first command you give your mind every morning. Because the first command creates the programming shapes the day shapes the behavior, and the behavior shapes the life. But before we reveal this 10-minute habit, there's something you need to understand, something almost no one talks about, yet everyone who achieves extraordinary clarity and results knows. The mind wakes up confused. It wakes up scattered, vulnerable, easily influenced, as if it's searching for something to hold on to. In the first minutes after you open your eyes, your mind is literally asking for a command. It's open, soft, moldable. And this is the exact moment where most people make the mistake that destroys their productivity, their energy, and their direction. They hand this moment over to chaos. They grab their phone, check messages, look at the news, scroll social media, and let the world decide, in a matter of seconds, the emotional state they will live in for the entire day. That's why so many people feel anxious. That's why so many can't focus. That's why so many feel exhausted even when they've done almost nothing. The first information of the day should never come from the outside. It should come from within. This is the beginning of the turning point. This is the first key. Now take another deep breath, not for relaxation, but to reinforce that you're opening space for the new. Because from here on, we're going to build the habit that, if you practice for just 10 minutes every morning, will reprogram your mind to stop merely surviving and start truly thriving. This habit requires no money, no experience, no physical effort, no talent. It only requires presence, and presence is something you can access right now. Think about the very first thing you do when you wake up. Think about the feeling that fills your body in those first few seconds of the day. Think about the first sentence you say in your mind. Think about the first automatic thought that shows up. Notice how, from the moment you wake up, your mind is trying to predict what your day will be like. It searches for signals. It searches for patterns. It searches for safety. And if you don't give it a conscious command, it defaults to the old pattern. And the old pattern, for most people, is a pattern of scarcity, worrying, urgency, reactivity. Now imagine what would happen if, in the first 10 minutes of your day, you took full control of your mind. Imagine starting your day with direction. Imagine waking up and before any outside noise takes over, you take the wheel. Imagine beginning your morning with clarity, focus, calm, and purpose. Imagine starting aligned with what you want, instead of whatever the world demands. That's what these 10 minutes do. They pull you out of an automatic life and place you into a conscious one. Now let's get to the habit, and I want you to visualize it as I explain it, because when you visualize, you create memory, and memory creates behavior, and behavior creates destiny. Right after waking up, before touching your phone, before talking to anyone, before thinking about your problems, you're going to sit quietly for just 10 minutes. But this isn't just any silence. It's active silence, intentional silence, directed silence, silence that speaks. You're going to close your eyes, sit on the edge of the bed or in a chair, and ask yourself 3 questions. And these 3 questions reprogram the mind for success. 3 simple questions, but extremely powerful ones. And once you understand why they work, you'll realize you'll never want to start your day any other way. The first question is, what do I truly want to build today? Not what you need to do. Not your responsibilities, not your tasks, but what you want to build. This question forces your mind out of reaction and into creation. It's impossible to build an extraordinary life by waking up every day just to fulfill obligations. Life changes when you wake up with intention. And this question puts you into a creative state immediately. The second question is, who do I need to be today for that to happen? This question pushes your mind into identity mode. It's not about wanting, it's about becoming. The world doesn't respond to what you want, it responds to who you are. When you ask who you need to be, your mind instantly activates internal resources that were asleep. It reminds you of your focus, your discipline, your strength, your kindness, your maturity, your courage. It's like waking up your strongest self, your most aligned self. And the third question is the most powerful of all. What is one single action, gesture, or decision I can take today that will move me toward that future? Just one, not 5, not 10, 1. The human mind performs far better with 1 point of clarity than with a long list of tasks. When you identify one single priority action, you activate your internal system of achievement. You create a target, and when you create a target, you create progress. And progress creates motivation, and motivation builds consistency. These 3 questions, repeated for 10 minutes every morning, reprogram your mind, because they place you in the exact mental state of someone who grows, who advances, who transforms. It's like replacing your automatic self with a conscious, present, powerful self. And as you do this day after day, your mind begins to adapt to the new pattern. It starts looking for opportunities instead of problems. It responds with maturity instead of impulsiveness. It focuses on what matters instead of distractions. It moves with clarity instead of habit. It becomes your ally instead of your saboteur. You might think 10 minutes isn't much, but the truth is, these are the most strategic 10 minutes of your entire day. They are your mind's source code. They define the emotional state that will guide your choices from that point forward. They activate your system of presence, your system of focus, your system of purpose. They reorganize your internal chaos. They remind you of who you really are, and most importantly, they set you apart from the crowd. Because most people wake up and immediately hand themselves over to the world. But those who build extraordinary lives wake up and immediately return to themselves first. That's what creates the turning point. That's what creates the climax of your internal transformation. After a few days of practicing this habit, you'll start to notice your mind behaving differently. Things that used to throw you off no longer have the same power. Small problems won't drain you anymore. You'll make decisions faster. You'll feel less anxious. You'll procrastinate less. You'll judge yourself less. You'll pressure yourself less. Because now you're living from an inner center, not an outer storm. You're living from the inside out. And that changes everything. And there will come a special moment, one I want you to remember me for when it happens. There will be a day when you wake up and your mind will ask for the habit. You won't have to force it. Your mind will want it. And that means it has been rewired. It means you've turned the key. It means you've taken the wheel. And from that moment on, your life enters a new state of flow, clarity, and direction. But there's one final detail, and it might be the most important one of all. It's not enough to do this habit mechanically. It has to be felt. It has to be lived. It has to be intentional. Every question needs weight. Every thought needs honesty. Every answer needs truth. The mind doesn't respond to words, it responds to the energy behind the words. And when you do this with presence, something inside you realigns immediately. Now, before we finish, I want you to make a silent promise to yourself, not to me, not to this video, to yourself. Promise that tomorrow morning you'll take 10 minutes to practice this habit. And then 10 more, and then 10 more, until it becomes part of who you are, because you deserve to live with clarity. You deserve to live with direction. You deserve to live with purpose. And all of that begins in the first minutes of your day. If this message resonated with you, if it touched you, if it sparked clarity, if it awakened something inside you, then hit the like button, comment "I'm starting tomorrow," and subscribe to the channel to receive more content like this. Your engagement helps me reach more people and allows me to continue creating messages that transform lives. So comment, subscribe, leave your like, and tomorrow morning, remember, your first 10 minutes define the rest of your day. And when you change your days, you change your life. You can do this, and your shift begins now.